Level 1. The Impostor. Honestly, sometimes I look at him and think, are we sure he's Brazilian? Because when people say Brazilian footballer, you imagine samba, flair, confidence, chaos with purpose. Anthony? He gives you one thing, the spin. And somehow, that spin is both unnecessary and ineffective at the same time. This guy will receive the ball, stop the entire attack, do 3 full rotations like he's buffering in real life, and then pass it sideways. No end product, no danger, just vibes. Brazil has produced players who made defenders fear for their lives. Anthony makes defenders relax. They don't even close him down anymore. They just wait. The craziest part? He thinks he's that guy. The confidence is there. The execution, missing. He's become more of a meme than a menace, more TikTok than trophies, more spinning than sprinting. If Brazilian football is an art form, Anthony feels like someone who watched one YouTube tutorial and thought, yeah, I've mastered this. That's why he's level 1, not because he's the worst player ever, but because he represents the illusion of Brazilian flair without the actual substance. Level 2, the Wannabe. Now don't get it twisted, Vinicius is talented, very talented, but being Brazilian isn't just about pace and step-overs. Vinicius plays football like he's constantly arguing with someone, with referees, with defenders, with the crowd, sometimes even with himself. Half of his game is electric dribbling, the other half is talking. He'll beat 3 players, miss the finish, and then spend the next minute complaining. He celebrates fouls more than goals sometimes. And when you look at his Brazil performances, that's where the wannabe label really shows. For Real Madrid, he's a weapon. For Brazil, he's still auditioning. Brazilian legends dominate internationally. Vinicius still feels like he's trying to prove he belongs in that conversation. He wants to be Neymar. He wants to be Ronaldinho. He wants to be that symbol. But right now, it feels like he's forcing it. Too much emotion, too much noise, not enough iconic moments in yellow. He's close, dangerously close, but being Brazilian royalty isn't about potential, it's about legacy, and Vinicius is still knocking on the door.
Level 3, the Prodigy. This is where Brazilian football starts feeling dangerous again. Because when you watch Estevan, you're not watching someone trying to impress, you're watching someone who expects to dominate. The ball doesn't just stay close to his feet, it listens to him. He plays with a calm that doesn't make sense for his age. No panic, no rush, just decision after decision done right. What separates Estevan isn't just the dribbling, it's the timing. He knows when to take on defenders, when to release the ball, and when to slow the entire game down. That's rare. That's Brazilian intelligence, not just Brazilian flair. You can already see it, the confidence without arrogance, the hunger without desperation. He's not copying Neymar, he's not trying to be Ronaldinho, he's building his own identity. And if his development stays clean, if injuries stay away, if the pressure doesn't break him, Estevan doesn't just become a star, he becomes a reference point. A player Brazil can rally around again. A name defenders will study before matches. A future where the throne isn't inherited, it's taken. This is not hype. This is a warning. Level 4, the Phenomenon. The most terrifying striker football has ever seen. Before Messi, before Cristiano, there was Ronaldo, and defenders had no answers. He didn't need space, he didn't need time. Give him half a chance and the game was over. His speed was explosive, not elegant. His dribbling wasn't decorative, it was destructive. Every touch had purpose, and every movement screamed danger. Goalkeepers knew the nightmare. One-on-one with Ronaldo meant humiliation or resignation. And then there were the injuries. Knees shattered. Careers usually end there. Ronaldo came back heavier, slower, and still won a World Cup. 8 goals in 2002, top scorer, the greatest comeback football has ever witnessed. 2 World Cups, Ballon d'Ors, goals against the best defenders of the toughest era. Ronaldo wasn't just scoring, he was redefining what a striker could be. Power, pace, technique, instinct, all in one body. This wasn't flair for show, this was domination through inevitability. Ronaldo didn't entertain defenders, he destroyed them. That's why he's not just remembered, he's feared.
Level 5, the Magician. The only footballer who made the entire world smile. This wasn't just flair, this was freedom. Ronaldinho played like the rules didn't apply to him, like the pitch was his playground and defenders were invited guests. Every touch felt improvised, every dribble felt disrespectful, every pass carried imagination. No one, and this matters, no active footballer today comes close to this level of natural flair. Not in confidence, not in creativity, not in audacity. Ronaldinho didn't just beat players, he embarrassed them and laughed while doing it. At his peak, defenders were terrified of being put on a highlight reel that would live forever. Because once Ronaldinho looked at you and smiled, you were already beaten. And then there's the legacy. He didn't just win trophies, he changed football culture. Street football entered stadiums because of him. Kids tried skills because of him. Football became joyful again because of him. And yes, he mentored Lionel Messi. The greatest player of all time learned how to express himself by watching Ronaldinho. That alone tells you everything. Ronaldinho wasn't consistent like others. He wasn't obsessed like Ronaldo or Cristiano. But when he peaked, football reached its highest artistic level. Ronaldinho didn't chase greatness. Greatness chased him. And for a few years, the game belonged to a magician.
Level 6, the icon. The name that doesn't need explanation, only respect. Over 1,000 career goals, 3 World Cups, debuting at 17 and scoring in a World Cup final like it was nothing. Pelé wasn't just ahead of his time, he created time. He played when pitches were terrible, tackles were brutal, and protection didn't exist. Defenders kicked first and asked questions later. And still, he dominated. He could score with both feet. He could head the ball like a center back. He could drop deep, create, finish, lead. Pelé wasn't flashy in the modern sense, but he was devastatingly efficient. Entire defensive systems were built just to stop him, and they still failed. Now yes, most of his career was spent at Santos. He didn't chase Europe. He didn't need validation from foreign leagues. Brazil didn't export Pelé. The world came to him. And that's why he sits here. Pelé is football's foundation, the original global superstar, the player who made kids everywhere believe Brazil meant greatness. But icons don't need competition. They exist to be surpassed. Pelé is not the final level. He is the platform that made the final level possible.
Level 7, the Prince. The most gifted Brazilian footballer ever created. And yes, ever. No player in Brazilian history has blended dribbling, flair, creativity, confidence, and audacity like Neymar. Not Pelé, not Ronaldinho, not Ronaldo. Neymar could beat you standing still. He could beat you at full sprint. He could beat 2, 3, 4 defenders and still find the perfect pass. At Barcelona, he was unstoppable, not hiding behind Messi, complimenting him, destroying defenses from the left, the middle, anywhere he wanted. That MSN trio, Neymar was the chaos. If he stayed at Barca, if he didn't chase validation, if injuries didn't steal seasons from his prime, he wouldn't be the prince, he'd be the king. Because when Neymar was at his peak, football didn't have an answer. Defenders fouled him because they had no other option. Crowds tuned in just to see what he'd try next. Brazil has had legends. Brazil has had icons. But Neymar is something else. A once-in-a-generation player whose talent exceeded his legacy. And that's what makes him tragic, magical, and unforgettable. The Prince, not because he lacked greatness, but because destiny didn't let him finish the story.